you've decided that in addition to all the other things that you already have on your plate, you want to add the title of author to your name. If that's the case, you're in the right place, because today I'm here to share 5 things that an author needs to know to successfully promote and market a book. One, admit when you don't know something and ask for advice or support. That's a hard one for a lot of us. It was a hard one for me. We might be so accustomed to being independent and battling it through and getting what we want by just putting effort and more effort, by working longer and harder, that we might be tempted to do the same with the author marketing and publishing journey. My advice, don't do it. There are things that you will be a newbie at, and therefore you don't want to be failing at this point. Your book will end up paying the price. So don't keep your doubts in your mind and tell no one. Don't think that working longer hours will get you the same results as asking somebody to explain what's required, or hiring an assistant who knows how to create images, or help you to create a newsletter to get your word out and to share excerpts of your work. Find people who can support you by giving you explanations and answers and guidance, and find people who can give you assistance with the actual heavy load, and it's going to be really heavy at some points. Let them help you. Don't be so overconfident that you don't let yourself admit when you need help. 2, be true to who you are. Now that's a hard one, because you might be seeing flashy people, more confident people, more oomph in other people who are authors that have become celebrated. But if you don't show who you are, if you pretend to be somebody else, your audience will figure it out. You're not going to resonate with people because there's going to be something that doesn't feel genuine about you. So, in my case, I look at me and I find somebody who's nerdy, somebody who is a little too overzealous, somebody who doesn't look and doesn't sound like the typical celebrated author. And so I had the temptation to polish up and to change who I was and to become cooler. Maybe cool isn't the coolest word right now, but that's how I talk. And I made the decision that I couldn't present myself as other than me, because I wouldn't be comfortable, and the person watching me speak or listening to me speak or reading my words would find a misalignment in the sender of the message and the message I was sending. And so I decided, for better or for worse, I was going to give people exactly the heart-centered, not so funny, but think I'm funny, nerdy person and caring person that I am. So figure out what your defining qualities are and where you have elements that you don't like about yourself, sure, work on them. But if there are specific character traits that are you, my advice is show up as yourself, and you are going to be received much more warmly than if people feel that something doesn't resonate and doesn't feel honest. So here we go. Number 3. Have a plan. I'm an industrial engineer, and an industrial engineer is all about systems and flow charting and lists and organization. Having a plan applies to us, but it applies to everybody else as well. Marketing people swear by their marketing plan. Authors who want to do marketing and promotion have to have a very clear plan. What does your plan do? Your plan has to start with understanding who you want to receive your message. If you don't know who, then you can't get that message in those people's hands. So, who's going to get my message? What modalities am I going to use to get the message to them? And how am I going to make my message interesting to them so that they want to receive it and so that they come in to me? More than that, make sure your plan has specific goals that are aligned with your values. Make sure that you know the steps that you want to follow, the tasks that you want to do, who's responsible for various tasks, who you're getting help from, what resources you need. Put all those things in place, work consistently, and make sure everything that you plan to do and that you do stays in alignment with your values, because you are the foundation of all these things that are happening, and everything that happens reflects on you. So keep it close to who you are. 4, be resilient and patient. This journey to get your book out there and seen and desired and sought out is not an easy journey, because you are going to be learning something for the first time. You are going to come up against walls. You're going to have such a long list that you don't even know how to finish. You are going to work really hard and fail sometimes. You're going to be confused out of your mind about how to do some things. You're going to feel frustration about all of the outreach that somebody is expecting you to do. You're going to wonder, is this all worth it? I'm not being paid for all of this. I'm hoping for a payout. Should I be putting out all of this? What if nothing comes back to me? This is a journey that you do for the love of sharing your message and of growing. This is not a journey that promises you success, unless you see this success as inherent in your growing, as the journey being the thing that you want as well as the outcome. And resilience really makes this journey an easier one. Resilience keeps you persevering, keeps you trying, keeps you getting back up to give it another shot, even if you failed or messed it up the first time. And that's how you are going to eventually find success. 5, recognize that even if your publisher has a huge team, even if you've hired a lot of help. No matter how much support you have, you are taking on a lot of work. You want to be an author? You're going to have to work really hard on your marketing and on your promotion. You just have to. You are going to be just scratching the surface by writing that book. Following the book being written, you're going to have to come up with a clear title, one that aligns with your ideal target audience and one that describes your book well. And of course, it's catchy and all the other things. So that's a miracle of choosing the title. You're going to have to come up with art for the cover. So you're going to work with an artist, and you are going to work with a publisher. You're going to be working with many different people on a team, and all of these people will have different pieces of requests coming to you, and you're going to feel like you're in the middle of a sandstorm of demands. You're going to have to read and reread, edit and re-edit, proofread and take criticism about this book that you feel so invested in and so protective of. You're going to have to take that book and you're going to have to edit it and tear away pieces that you really felt connected to. All of this is challenging. You're going to be doing edits, and you're going to be building your online presence, and you're going to be developing a website perhaps. You're going to maybe be doing interviews and attending podcasts as a guest, or writing blog articles, all in the name of getting visibility for yourself and for that book. And that just scratches the surface. You're going to be planning a launch. You're going to be deciding on what you want to do in that launch. If you're giving giveaways, what those giveaways would be, and how those giveaways align with your brand and with your book and with who you are. So that's it. 5 things an author needs to know to successfully promote and market a book. I know these 5 tips would be extremely relevant to you. So use them. And why don't you tune in to the interview that I've done with Authority Magazine. It tells you so much more about my authoring journey and about what I learned along the way to lead me to be an author and while I was becoming an author. Join me on my own social media channels, on YouTube at Marsha NB, on Facebook at Marsha Nathai Balkissoon Author, on Instagram at Marsha Nathai Balkissoon. And let's stay in touch. I'd love to know what book you are writing and who you are looking to make a difference to. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.